Are they stuck inside?
Yeah, they're stuck inside. They're not moving, not doing anything.
Okay, you said a part of a bridge fell down?
My eye socket is fractured in 2 places, which has caused double vision.
Your son sends you a message and says there's a shooter on campus, and I'm like, I'll be there. I'm coming down. And he said, Mom, I don't want you to come down here. I don't want you to get shot.
Janet Hines made some really bad decisions, and it's broken our family.
I can't go out my house. I can't go to no walk.
She ran from our son and left him lying on the side of the road.
Please know that so many agencies from around the world share today in your loss. And may this tribute serve as a reminder that Officer Nicholas Scott Gallinger will never be forgotten.
See, it's all boarded up. Now, we've even spotted a window frame just lying in the front yard here.
It was a crane mounted onto a truck, but I want you to come with me and I want to show you exactly what crews have been dealing with all day long. Down here is where you can really see how that crane that was mounted onto that truck, it sank into the river when that barge sank.
Mayor Mock says Dalton residents will not notice an immediate change without an agreement, but that may not be the case for smaller cities. Varnell's city manager told me without it, funding for roads and police radars could be on the line. Cahuta's mayor mentioned the same concerns. He said the city depends heavily on county funding. Tunnel Hill's city manager told me reaching an agreement is important, but said, quote, "This is between Dalton and Whitfield County."
Still a very active scene at this time. In fact, we just got an update from EPB that it's probably going to take 3 to 4 hours before power is restored. So a little bit longer timeline than what we originally stated. They are going to be getting that tree cleared probably in the next hour. Once they do, there's a broken power pole.
That's right. Louise Henry and her son were in their living room watching TV when this massive tree behind me fell on the living room, and they watched the roof collapse in front of them.
The force of yesterday's winds are evident when you look at the damage. This tree, homeowner thinks it's at least 50 years old, was snapped like a toothpick. Other trees were completely uprooted by the base.
The road is opened up. It's been open for just about 2 hours now. When they cleared the scene a little after 10 o'clock, they took the bus and the car from the scene, and that's when they opened the road back up. Now the Chattanooga police say the driver of the car died, and there was a small child in that back seat that was being transported to T.C. Thompson for evaluation.
Now police have issued warrants for Burton on charges of aggravated assault and reckless endangerment. Take a look. Again, this is what she looks like. She is considered armed and dangerous.
Well, some 3,800 workers are responsible for putting together 3 different types of vehicles along the assembly line in this expansive roof, under the expansive roof of Volkswagen Chattanooga.
When Anthony Bell is booked into the Hamilton County Jail here over the next few hours, he will have another escape charge and a burglary charge added to his rap sheet.
Cindy, the word came to us outside the prison just about 3 minutes after Lee Hall had been declared dead. After nearly 3 decades on death row, last-minute appeals had fallen short, and just about half an hour before his electrocution, word came that the U.S. Supreme Court had denied a request to halt his execution.
As you said, those 33 people were on their way to a movie theater in Cleveland when that incident happened earlier this morning. Sergeant Alan Bailey with the Tennessee Highway Patrol tells us there was a tractor trailer that was in front of those 2 buses, and it stopped abruptly at the intersection of APD 40 and Westland Drive.
Faith Caldwell only had seconds to react when she saw that car veer into her lane. She was carrying 11 students on board and knew she couldn't take that impact head on. So she maneuvered the bus safely, minimizing the hit and saving lives. It was 1997 when Victoria Carr Hollingsworth went missing. Her remains were found buried on Billy Goat Hill 2 years later. The case sat unsolved for 16 years until the TNT television series Cold Justice took it on, leading to the arrest and conviction of Victoria's ex-husband, Adolphus Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, who is appealing his conviction, reached out to Channel 3 in a 5-page handwritten letter. He included hundreds of pages of documents he says proves he didn't get a fair trial.
I want to let the public know that I did not kill Victoria Carr Hollingsworth.
speaking to us from the state prison in Bledsoe County. Hollingsworth says he planned out his defense with his public defender, Steve Brown, but the jury never heard it.
So, I was looking forward to my defense being put forth and basically being exonerated of charge. When it came time to put my defense on, the public defender stood up and said defense rests.
Tonight, only on 3, we're hearing from the man injured in the I-75 bridge railing collapse.
And he asked not to be shown in close-up. He's dealing with double vision and a long list of injuries, but he's ready to give his side of the story, a story he says he's only sharing once. On the morning of April 1st, 2019, Ryan Hickson's life was about to change forever. The 30-year-old husband and new father had resigned his job as an insurance adjuster and was enjoying a day off before starting a new job with FedEx. Over the years, he'd driven hundreds of thousands of miles with no incident, and then it happened. Returning to Chattanooga from Dalton on I-75, merging onto I-24, part of a bridge railing collapsed from the overpass. He had no time to avoid the falling concrete.
All I remember was I was driving, and then I wasn't.
Just that quick?
Just that quick. I never saw anything come down. I just stopped.
A driver who saw it all from behind pulled over to help.
Are they stuck inside?
Yeah, they're stuck inside. They're not moving. They're not doing anything.
Okay, you said a part of a bridge fell down?
Larry Lawrence and his family were on a spring break trip from South Georgia.
Took out my phone, ran over, and while I was running up to the car, dialed 911, hoping to potentially save this guy's life or hoping for some signs of life.
Hickson lost consciousness. Hours later, he awakened in the hospital after the first of many surgeries.
Honestly, I was confused when I saw my wife for the first time because I didn't think in those moments that I was going to see her again. I remember being confused, and I think I told her I was going to have to relearn to walk because I thought I was obviously going to be paralyzed from that impact.
The first reports coming from police and government officials acknowledged the bridge collapse, but underplayed the victim's condition. There were expressions of relief that no one was seriously injured. Hickson can now set the record straight.
I had significant internal hemorrhaging, which is why I passed out. They ended up having to remove 2 feet of my intestines. The artery that goes to the intestine is what was cut and hemorrhaging. My sternum is cracked. My eye socket is fractured in 2 places, which has caused double vision.
Married for less than 2 years and with a baby girl now just 6 weeks old, he's unable to drive, walks with a cane, and cannot perform once routine household chores.
The house can't take out the trash, can't hold my baby or carry her around and help care for her like I would have been otherwise.
He's been robbed of his health and livelihood. Medical bills are starting to accumulate, and he's considering legal action. When he heard various theories as to why the bridge railing collapsed, he just shook his head. To him, the answer seems clear. The state is responsible, he says, for ensuring bridge safety.
In 2018, they even said there's potential for bridge elements to fall on the roadway below. They noted there's a tree growing out of a crack in the side of the bridge that was causing the cracks to expand. Just that right there. It shows negligence on their part.
His future is uncertain, yet he remains hopeful. He says his family, both in and out of Chattanooga, stepped up to help, as did his circle of friends. Although his name has not been released publicly until now, he says the prayer coming from the entire community is powerful.
I'd like to thank them for their prayers. We've been overwhelmed by the amount of prayers and support from people we've never even met or heard of before.
He can't help but ask, what if? What if he had approached that interchange 30 seconds earlier? He believes everything happens for a reason, and he hopes this serves as a wake-up call for government agencies we rely upon for our safety.
I would hope that they may reevaluate their processes and procedures that they use to evaluate our infrastructure and respond more appropriately when need be.